Have you ever had to do something and you're not really in the state to do it, but you have to follow through just because it feels like if you don't, you just won't get to the next step? And that's kind of where I am. This is supposed to have been a great video, you know, a 40th video or whatever. And yes, I have bags under my eyes. I haven't been sleeping real well. I've been very distraught over some things that have recently happened. And so I'm trying to change the position of where I'm going, what I'm doing. Actually, not changing the position, but changing my approach on some things. And recently, I've added some friends to my friends list. It's something I'm doing a little bit different now. And I know people come and go, and that's the real hard thing about friendships, especially online friendships. They don't. It's like they just they don't mean much, I guess, to some people. To me, they mean a lot. And let me turn this around here. So I'm not in a position where I can be doing this, and I really, but in order to get to the next place, I feel like I have to make this video. I have made, like I said, 40 uploads, and I've had people come and go. I've had people praise me. I've had, no one's really criticized me except like if they started to be a friend, and then like this, I don't know, there's just some events lately that I shake my head and I cannot believe how, I just can't believe people. So this next video set, I think I'm just going to start focusing on people on my friends list and talking to them and talking to only you. And if you can't talk, I don't know, I'm so distraught. I mean, I just cannot believe what I keep seeing and experiencing, and I don't want to sound like I'm so perfect or I'm so, you know, wonderful and everyone else is whatever, but it's just, let me explain. Like, one thing I'm accused of a lot of is that I'm hard to be a friend to, right? And that's fine, And that I jump and I have hoops, I make people jump through hoops, and that's fine. But one thing that I don't do, and I don't think I ever do, is I put up a wall. Now, what is better to me, or what is better to you? To put up a wall to someone, or to have them jump through a hoop? The reason I have people jump through hoops is, like, for an instance, someone a while ago asked to be my friend on Facebook. So I let them be my friend. They wanted me to help their son, so I helped their son. And it ends up the people that you tend to help the most, and maybe they'll say this about me, I don't know, but it's just, I don't even want to go into details, because it says he who repeats a matter divides close friends, and whoever covers a matter promotes love, those kind of things. So I guess I want to take the higher road there. It's just, you know, if you have a problem with anybody, not only just me, if you have a problem with someone, why don't you go to them? Try to resolve it. That's how I am. And, you know, my worst enemies are welcome at my table anytime. My worst enemies could come to me. And that's where a lot of people, I think, get me wrong personally. And I am just, you know, a lot of people don't understand why I'm upset sometimes or anything. And I could go in so many directions right now. I have so many things I want to do, so many ideas I want to explore, and so many places I want to go and explain. But it's very disheartening when constantly people come in your life and they leave your life. They come in your life and they leave life. Like it's a revolving door. And you know what? If there's anything I want to do in life, is I want to promote the fact of a deeper kind of friendship. Friendships that last. And, you know, thankfully I do, I mean, I guess, you know, give credit where credit is due. I don't consider myself a real spiritual person anymore in a lot of ways, but at the same time, I do feel like I have to thank God for the fact that I have some good friends that have recently called me up, that talk to me, and I find great encouragement to that. But I still keep shaking my head, because I just keep realizing how there's few people that have kind of some code to live by. They don't live by any code. And so I don't know what to do about it, to be honest with you. all I know is, you know, I'll try to be, I'm so at loss of words. I mean, I've said it 100 times on all these videos, and I know they're long sometimes and everything. You know, I could redo this video 100 times, and I'm so tempted to half the time, but you know, don't be careful to be upset with someone when they're angry about something. You know, just why is that person so angry, or you know, why is that person this way? You might want to understand a little bit more about their life before you make too many accusations. And you know, I'm just not in a good space right now, to be honest with you. I want to say so much, but I've got a lot of hurt with what I see. People that should be grateful for things aren't. I mean, almost to the level of just ruthless and cruel. I mean, hateful towards people. Just hateful. And I might be upset with people, but I'm telling you, but sometimes I think, but like I said, at least one thing I know is that my worst enemies could come to me. And I don't ever understand, I'll never understand why people put up walls. So anyway, I know that even the 4 people that are on my list that I accepted as friends right now might not be here tomorrow. And that's okay. And I hope you don't mind me accepting your guys' friendship. But these are 4 people that I've basically recently sent me a friend request that I've actually communicated with. One I've known for like almost 20 years, or 14 years, excuse me, or something like that. And one I've known for a couple years. 2 I just know over the web. And most of my friends and family have not really communicated too much with me through YouTube, my YouTube channel. But anyway, I did recently, and I want to get into things sometimes, and this isn't the response that I had hoped for, but sometimes if I don't just pick up where I left off, I won't ever launch any of these things. And I want to start a dialogue, a more conversation with my friends, quote, whatever, on YouTube and focus. And I'm going to try to start connecting. A lot of people have asked recently, too, what's the big picture and what am I going for and all this. And unfortunately, at this video marks a time that I'm going to have to stop. I'm focusing mostly on a personal portal right now that actually is a big part of Centerport. A lot of people don't understand what Centerport is, and it's really, I'm just tired and I'm weary of you know, when I think about this and I shake my head, I'm thinking about my family most of the time. That's what I'm thinking about. Although I can understand where they're coming from. It's just you would expect the most from family. That's where you expect the most. And I feel like I've forgiven my family after all that's happened. They gave me up at 6.5 years old, handed me over to the state. You know, I got treated and abused by people and human beings that you wouldn't think would happen. And so I feel like I'm a human activist a lot of times now. And of course, and the abuse that I've seen, I mean, at 6.5 years old, I remember being so doped up from drugs, forced on drugs at an early age, that I literally would bounce into walls and my nose would constantly gush out blood. And shouldn't that detest me when I look back on my childhood and I think, good God, how could anyone let this happen to children? And then we want to go up in arms and stuff, but there's so much abuse that happens, and people don't investigate it, and they don't think it's wrong. That's the really hard time. A lot of people don't think it's wrong at the time, and they have their reasons, you know. So I've actually had to become even a better person in many ways, above reproach, and even be more careful, because if I make a mistake, it's looked at as even more severe than maybe someone else. And so a lot of people don't understand. Someone recently wrote in, and I'm not going to embarrass you, don't worry, but someone wrote in, is Asperger's a condition, a way of life, or a genetic wiring? Well, let me say this. I think most of the time, unfortunately, and nothing against doctors, but I don't think a lot of the times we don't know about a field as much as we think we do. A good example of that is when we used to drain blood to cure the fever. Doctors would swear by that, they used to think, but they didn't have a good grasp of what was going on. From personally someone that suffers, well, that's been diagnosed with Asperger's or autism spectrum disorder, you know, it's probably just a term of the day, and in my experience, I think personally there's more neurological activity going on, so we think more, and I think in my personal experience, I think we're a very misunderstood class of people, because it's kind of like kids. People abuse kids, and they forget that those kids grow up, and they might not be able to deal or think about the consequences or what's happened to them at the time, but when they grow up and they have a mature mind, they'll be able to figure it out. So I would say, you know, you were asking, is it genetic wiring? I would say, yeah, it's definitely wiring, part of it. I would say mostly it's more neurological activity. And then because of that, and what does that mean? You know, it's kind of like, this is the best way I can describe it in my own experience. If you were deaf or if you were blind, your other senses would compensate. Well, a lot of people think that autism, we're not very good socially. And they're right in a way, but in actuality what it is I don't think we have the capability of, you know, pretending. And that's a big part of social activity, as you find out. Part of it is lying. I don't think we can actually lie. It's very hard for an Asperger person or an autism person, at least in my experience, to lie. So, so what happens is if you think someone's not kind to you, you'll call them out on it. And you know how often does this happen to all of us? You know, someone friendly, someone's nice to your face, and then they talk behind your back, or they, you know, I don't know about anybody else, but I would rather just someone come to me and tell me what they think. And the problem is I think to me, if you boil all the problems down to society, down to one simple thing, it would be the fact that we have no code, that we have no way of living with each other. It's kind of like it's accepted. If you don't like someone, you put up a wall and you say, you're not allowed to contact me, okay? So you don't know why you're not allowed to contact that person or whatever. And, oh gosh, I could go on and on about this topic and everything, but the main thing is you know, we should be allowed to say, you know, this is a very tough time of year for me, because look, there's a deer. Do you see him? See him? Oh wait, can you see him? Oh, I don't know if you can see him or not, but anyway. I love out here. It has a lot of deer and stuff. Anyway, so this is one more video of almost about nothing, but this is what happens when you treat someone with Asperger's cruel and unkind. People like me retreat. We exclude ourselves to a terrace or a place, you know, wherever. We don't leave home because, quite frankly, we become very reclusive. We disconnect with people, and we go over and over in our mind trying to figure out the injustices, and our mind just can't let it go. It's like a problem it's trying to solve, but the problem is social problems are not the same like normal problems. There's too many dynamics to it. It's a very difficult puzzle. So it doesn't make sense. Social behavior doesn't make sense. There's not, you know, it's not this plus this. It's not that easy. So I think that's what's a problem for people like myself. Like, I will never understand how, you know, I try to forgive my family. I've talked to my mom once, but basically they start cutting off from me, and completely cutting off from me, and they have their reasons and everything, but I feel like I've forgiven a lot. They gave me up at 6½. I went to change schools 26 different times by the time I was a sophomore. I was accused of crimes I never committed. They never stood by my side. Never once ever once did they stand by my side. I've had to defend myself, pay for lawyers. I've been homeless on the street, and I'm sorry. You know, I'm tired. I'm weary. I'm tired and a lot of people will just get angry at me, and they get mad at the victim all the time. And I'm not trying to be a victim, but, you know, just because someone's different than you doesn't mean they're the ones wrong. Maybe they're not the ones wrong. Maybe society isn't mature enough to accept people with Down syndrome or Asperger's or autism or whatever difference a person has. Maybe it's society's challenge, not the person's challenge. And, you know, some days when it's like this, it's very hard. Because I go back in my mind, I have all these people in the back of my mind, all these people that were friends and no longer friends. And you think, well, if someone, I don't know, just, you know, it's very hard. I have to put myself out there. It's very embarrassing to put myself out there like that, and like this. But the alternative, I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk, and I'm going to keep trying to talk until someone hears me. I am tired of being silent to these things. And I'm tired and weary of this constant abuse of people when people are not hurting the people. You know, let people have their opinion, but do not accuse people falsely of things they've never done. That is something that just, I am shocked at what I see. I mean, if you're going to put someone in jail, put them in jail for a crime they commit. Do not trump up charges on people. Do not, and when someone's 6.5 years old, I mean, this is what amazes me. This is what truly amazes me. People say, well, you need to forget your past, put your past behind you. And I did. By age 1997, I was doing well. But what happens is that people come along and they can accuse you of something that you've never done, and all of a sudden your life's right back where it was before. But this is what's important to me, that I think people spend so much time and attention to raising their kids. If they believe that it doesn't matter how you raise a kid, why don't you just let them go until they're 18 and then bring them in and say whatever. So imagine someone being institutionalized at 6.5, being raised by institution, being raised by hundreds of people with all different views. I can remember one time I was brought in and they said, well, the reason you have behavioral problems is because you're gay and you don't know it yet. And I thought, you know, I was not quite hit puberty yet. I was thinking, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gay. I'm pretty sure because I get really excited around the ladies. I didn't say it like that when I was young, but, you know, no. And I'm not saying, this isn't a debate whether being gay or being not gay is a problem. I remember this one time, too. Some people from this church up in, this Baptist church up in Troy, Michigan or whatever, these people swore that they saw me at some gay event, okay? I have no problem, I mean, if I was that way, but I'm not. I'm not. You know, yeah, I take care of my flowers, I trim my trees, I have maybe some tendencies that way or whatever, but I'm not. Way not that way. But you know what's interesting is you're never allowed to defend yourself. So these same people said they saw me in a picture and stuff, but I'm not allowed to see the picture. They'll show me the picture. So this is why these events these days, with the whole events that's happening, current events, interest me so much. And that's why you're going to probably see me focus on that more and more. This is my 40th video. It's full of nothing, but I'm sorry. I just feel part of it's because people have drove me back into retreat. People have been really cruel. You would not believe it. You would not believe the things that have occurred lately. I had a mother recently come up. I did everything I could to their son, for their son. I don't have a lot of money, but I paid him to just play games. That's all I did. He couldn't do anything else, and I said, I'll play him. And you know, those people, they defamed me. They disrespected me on the web and everything else. And it's horrific. So you guys win. I'm in retreat again. You guys win. But you know what? When I was putting you guys up in hotels and feeding you, and all you people that I've helped over the years, or when I stopped my car and picked you up and drove you across the country because you needed a ride, you know, I don't know where you are. I've tried to bend over backwards and live my life. So I've got 4 friends right now. I'm going to talk to you guys mostly, I guess. Maybe there'll only be 2 left. But if you reply to this video, ask me questions, I would love the conversation, because I'm really I'm by myself right now. I'm retreated. People have won. They've discouraged me immensely, trying to tell me why Centerport won't work, why whatever. You know what? I'm so tired of that. I'm so weary. So you win. Okay, whatever. You know, you guys can destroy the hopes and dreams of so many people. And do you think it's of any benefit to that? Is it great? Do you feel better now? Mom, Dad, sister, do you feel better about yourself? You did a great job. Thanks for your support. And thanks for all the people that have, you know, there have been some people have supported me. But you know what? I've forgiven a lot of people for a lot of things. You know, I'm hold back so many things that have been done to me that you guys would be shocked at. I hold back because I don't believe it's good to repeat it. But do not tell me that I'm not there for people, because I am there for people. I bend over backwards. I live my life for other people. So do not tell me I don't. And you people that want to constantly accuse people of things they don't do, go ahead. Destroy us. Destroy the people that want to do good in the world. Go ahead. Pretty soon you'll be all alone yourself, and you're going to have to defend against real criminals, because I'm not going to... There's an old saying, a righteous man does not... I'm not saying I'm righteous, but it says a righteous man does not defend himself, or something like that. And, you know, he doesn't resist an evil man. So I'm not going to resist someone. If someone's going to be evil towards me, you can do it. You can abuse me, whatever else you want to do. You know, one time I was put in jail. For a crime I didn't commit. Denied a jury trial. I was told I was be released if I pled guilty. I said I'm not guilty, so they forced me into it, sentenced me without a jury trial, without everything. They denied all my rights, put me in a cell, forced me to sign a document because they said I was on suicide watch, whatever, and said that, but yet they would let me out if I signed this. Now go figure, if either someone's on suicide watch or they're not on suicide watch, right? And so what they did is they put me in a room, there was dung all over the floor, just crap all over the floor. They wouldn't let me wash my hands. They stripped me clothes, they made sure it was real cold, and they abused me that way. And they just think it's funny. And they would laugh. These people would laugh at you. And I would remember yelling under the doors saying, please give me a blanket. I beg of you, please give me a blanket. They don't care. People are, it's just amazing how cruel people can be in this world. And then you get accused of being a recluse. I don't have any reason to go out in public anymore. No reason at all. No reason. And they'll even make that a crime. Isn't that amazing? They'll make you a criminal if you're a recluse. You can't win. You go out in public, you get pulled over for something or whatever. You get harassed just because you're different. All I can do is request this. What does it matter? It doesn't matter what my requests. If anyone wants to reply to this video, I'll talk to you as a friend. And that's the best I can do. And I invite you as a friendship. I'll try to be a friend of you. Try to be a friend of me, and we'll have a good conversation. Thanks. Bye.